Tonight in 27 Investigates, ambulances are supposed to help you in an emergency. Our team of investigators began digging through the Ohio Medical Transportation Board's inspection records, where we found everything from expired drugs to non-working lights. 27 Investigates reporter Jeff Coolidge brought those concerns to company owners.
Every privately owned ambulance in Ohio goes through a rigorous 185-point annual inspection check.
Yes, and every year it gets longer and longer, but everything that's on there has been found. You need it, so we try and prepare for worst-case scenarios.
I dug through the last 2 years of inspection reports collected by the Ohio Department of Public Safety for all ambulance companies in Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana counties. 7 ambulance companies passed with flying colors, but the state issued violations to 4 companies. Lane Life Corp was issued 5 violations in that time period. In September of 2013, inspectors issued a violation for an expired CO2 connector. It's part of the system used when rescue crews put a tube down a patient's throat to help them breathe. Randy PUGH is the chief of operations for Lane.
We have one in the house kit that goes into the house, and we have one also as a backup on the shelf. The shelf one expired, probably because it wasn't rotated through.
At the time, the expiration dates were hard to see. Now the package manufacturer changed the labels. The expiration date is clearly marked.
But that's how detailed the state gets, and justly slow. I'm not against the inspection at all. We get along with the state very well on that. They find something, we correct it right away.
That includes everything right down to the tire wear, brakes, and weather stripping around the doors. All can be potential violations. KLG in Salem had 11 violations since April of 2013. On one of its ambulances, an inspector found expired drugs, but it doesn't say what kind of drugs. Owner Carl Griggs told me he didn't remember the details, but said the inspector found it on a reserve unit that doesn't routinely go out for calls.
When they come in to inspect every vehicle, that he had found something that was maybe overlooked by one of our squads or one of our personnel when they checked it, it was immediately corrected.
In fact, everything on an ambulance has an expiration date, from cloth bandages to medications. Griggs tells me they have challenged some things that the state has cited them for, and won, such as not having a compressed air system on board their mobile intensive care units.
We have ventilators that are computerized, and as long as they have an internal blender, it does the job of the compressed air system, and it was dismissed by the board.
But when they are found to be out of compliance, they too quickly make the corrections.
And while the private ambulance companies are scrutinized by the state with their inspections, you may be shocked to learn that the state does not inspect those EMT units that are run by fire departments in city and townships.
That means this Cortland ambulance doesn't get the same safety checks. Randy PUGH, who's not only a fire chief but also runs a private ambulance company, says it's not fair.
Because they should, my parent or my loved one could be traveling through an area that's covered by a fire department ambulance. They should meet the same standard as a private ambulance service.
Cortland's fire chief agrees it isn't fair, but assures me that public-owned ambulances are inspected daily.
And that means they go over every aspect of it. They check the needles and the oxygen and the cardiac monitor and the Band-Aids. They check everything every day.
We asked state officials why public ambulance companies are not inspected by the state. We're still waiting for a response. For 27 Investigates, I'm Jeff Coolidge.